Hey ladies, this is Mocha Mommy here bringing you another video. And in this video, I want to discuss the sociopathy present in Blackistan as I have seen manifested through the Olympic Games. Now first, let's start with defining sociopathy versus psychopathy. Now, psychopathy is when someone is just mentally ill, that no matter what happens, it could possibly be faulty brain functions or challenging cognitive or neurological problems. But no matter what the environment is, the person will still demonstrate antisocial behavior. Whereas sociopathy usually is because people are creating these antisocial behaviors as a result of their environment. So right now we're going to talk about the sociopathy that I'm seeing very present as a result of the Olympics. Sociopathy doesn't necessarily mean crazy. It could just mean an antisocial behavior that has developed as a result of your environment. Simone Manuel would be the Olympian that's most concerning to me, simply because she reminds me of a lot of young Black women. Simone Manuel is from Sugar Land, Texas. She was educated at Stanford University, so she's perhaps the most prolific athlete of African American descent to really come out of that institution in a non-traditional sport. Her predecessor would be Tiger Woods. Now, when Simone Manuel won the gold medal, 2 gold medals and a silver medal for her performance in the 50, 100 meter freestyle and relay, she said she didn't want to be noted as the first Black woman too. She really didn't do a lot of interviews. She said she just wanted to be seen as just another swimmer. She easily put her hoodie on and put the hood over her eyes and wanted to fade into the background. This is such a disturbing pattern for so many young Black women who, because of their fear of emotional or physical harm, they just tend to retreat into the background and really not step into their potential, into their greatness, into the glory of all that they are. Simone Manuel is such an incredibly accomplished young woman and very beautiful. I just really would love to see her step forward into the confidence and into the destiny that I know could be had for her. So here on the Mocha Mommy channel, I really appreciate those of you in my comment section. Please, ladies, don't apologize for leaving a whole paragraph or a whole novel. For those of you who usually don't comment, I'm grateful when you do. And also, for those of you who want to volunteer for panels coming up, I really want to make sure that I'm interviewing homeowners, more women in STEM, IT, healthcare, and women who've just overcome really challenging situations and how they've managed to do it. What I'm hoping to do is by getting these stories, we can encourage, empower, and educate the next generation of young Black women to step into that feminine confidence, to be all that they are destined to be. I really don't want to see any more young Black women struggling and wanting to become just painfully insular. I want them to really step out and have the courage to move forward and to just live up to their potential. The sociopathy of Blackistan is most present in people's reaction to Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, Sha'Carri Richardson is an LSU alum whose personal record for the women's 100 meter dash is 10.62 seconds. Now, her Nike teammate, Justin Gatlin, says he feels Sha'Carri has a 10.5 in her. I don't know if him being her teammate, he's seen it, or just because of his 20 plus years of track and field experience, he feels that this 21-year-old athlete has that type of potential. To put that in context, the women's world record for the 100 meter dash set by Florence Griffin Joyner was 10.49. So ladies, this is just really something that just lets you know that the sociopathy of Blackistan, they really just can't celebrate this. So far that her colorful wigs and ostentatious nails have a lot more to do with the conversation than the fact that this woman is about to be on the verge of immortality as one of the most prolific and most accomplished female athletes of our generation. But somehow we're getting all hooked up into these respectability politics because of her appearance or her hood vernacular. Why can't we just celebrate the incredible victory that is Sha'Carri Richardson? What I find so disturbing is how Blackistan has taken this conversation about Sha'Carri's appearance onto mainstream sports platforms like ESPN, Fox Sports, Runner's World, and where you'll see threads and threads of Black people complaining about how Sha'Carri looks, while other people in the nation are in awe of how Sha'Carri performs. Also, let's take into consideration track and field sprinter culture. Typically in large races like the Penn Relays, Eugene, Oregon, Texas Relays, you will have thousands of people in the stands. Usually races like the 100 are usually run in 6 heats with 8 runners apiece. And if you have a recruiter, a sports agents, family members in those stands, you want to do something to distinguish yourself. You remember this race is run in less than 12 seconds. You want to make sure that you stand out and that people can notice you. So even if they don't know what heat you're running in, they can find you and you are distinguishable. This is a very powerful self-marketing tool that some of these sprinters may use, usually with hair barrettes or with hats before they enter into the blocks, or colorful hair extensions or braids. Listen, this is a part of track culture, and it's always the people who are unfamiliar with the track culture who are always the ones who are the loudest and the ones who critique it the most. The sociopathy of Blackistan. Let me preface this by saying congratulations to men's 100-meter champion Trevon Bromell and Team Nike's Justin Gatling. What makes these two men exceptional, in my opinion, is the fact that Trevon Bromell has gone through not one, but 2 surgeries that could have been possibly career-ending for most athletes. He's also on the shorter end of the spectrum as far as professional sprinters. Justin Gatling has had a 20-plus year running career. At the age of 39, he was certainly the oldest man to take the track. This is what Black men should be celebrating. The fact that these 2 men have created longevity and injury recovery in the arena of professional sports. Typically, in our culture, Black men are treated like racehorses, where they're taken out behind the barn and shot when they get injured. And that is career-ending, life-threatening, and bankruptcy-inducing types of career changes that usually happens to a lot of Black male athletes. So really, instead of gleaning these men for their inspiration and gleaning these men for information onto how to increase longevity in a sports system that doesn't always favor them, they're too busy talking about Sha'Carri's appearance. Listen, there are high school and NCAA athletes who have had promising careers end because of injury. This is something that Black men really should be learning from, as opposed to spending all of this time critiquing Sha'Carri's appearance. Again, the sociopathy of Blackistan. Where are these men getting their health care? Who are their athletic trainers? Who's helping them with PT and recovery? What are their diets like? What kind of access are they getting into some of the entry-level races that can put them back on the professional scene? These are the questions they should be asking, not what color and what kind of wig glue or lace front Sha'Carri's wearing. All I'm going to say about this is that there is a right way to do activism. Let's take a page out of the book of Allyson, Felix. If you want to be an athlete that's committed to activism, you do it like Allyson Felix. You write a scathing article in the New York Times, and you kill it on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, just in time for your exclusive collection with your new sponsor, Athleta, is to be released. Then you tell your story. Ladies, let me tell you something. What was more powerful than a raised fist and a t-shirt and a back turned on a podium was when Quinera Hayes picked up her baby and walked over to Allyson Felix with her baby minutes after winning the 400 and gave her a hug. Because we all know that without Allyson Felix, Quinera Hayes would have never had to run the opportunity to run for Team Nike, simply because Allyson Felix was the woman who stuck her neck out for women who were athletes and who were mothers. Nike wanted to undercut her and pay her less or even renege on her contract, but Allyson Felix stood up against it, but only after she had secured her contract with Athleta, a brand that was synonymous with her value system. Ladies, be smart about your activism, because that picture of Quinera Hayes, Allyson Felix, and their 2 children on that track was probably the most woke, the most activist, and the strongest statement that those 2 women could have possibly made. Winners, mothers, and activists. Let's not forget the other Olympian representing Team Athleta, gymnast Simone Biles. Simone Biles also walked away from a Nike contract that did not serve her and decided to partner with a brand that will allow her to not just be an athlete, but also a mentor. We really saw that present when Simone Biles fixed the hair of Jordan Childs during the U.S. Gymnastics Championship. And we know how sociopathic Blackistan can be when it comes to Black women and policing our hair and appearance. So I really wish Simone Biles the best of luck in her brand new endeavor and her partnership with Athleta. Now, ladies, another common narrative in sociopathic Blackistan, I'll go off on a little tangent here, is that Black women, if you swirl, you can't come back. Now, in 2018, Simone Biles made a public declaration in front of the world that she had a crush on Zac Efron. She dated a couple of exoticals, and guess what? When she wanted to, she came right on back. Same thing with Robin Givens after she dated Brad Pitt, and the same thing with Holly Robinson after she dated Johnny Depp, and the same thing with Kerry Washington after she dated David Moscow. They came right on back, and to high value Black men at that. So please, don't take that threat seriously. You do what you want with who you want when you want. There are some bright spots as well in the 2021 Olympic trials, particularly Austin's own Tara Davis out of University of Texas for the long jump. Ladies, I love Tara. I love her energy. I love the boots. I love the hat. I love the dancing. I am here for it all. I also love her YouTube channel that she has with her boyfriend and fellow Olympian, Hunter Woodhall. Check out Tara and Hunter on YouTube. And let's just leave it there. Another bright spot for me was definitely Gabby Thomas. Gabby Thomas was the first Ivy League athlete to ever place first in an indoor track championship in 2018. She is a graduate of Harvard University. In fact, she kind of reminds me a lot of content creator Uppity Unicorn, not just because she's tall and she's pretty, but because she also is an activist as well. Gabby was a healthcare administration major at Harvard, and she intends to use her platform to bring awareness to healthcare disparities that are experienced by young Black women in the healthcare system. So I'm really proud of her for taking that on. But I'm also proud for what Gabby symbolizes, that we can possibly put aside our differences for just those few moments it takes to reach our objective. You know, it's likely that Gabby may run a relay, the 4x1 relay, where she'll be running with Sha'Carri Richardson. We can have the Ivy League, more refined girl with the hood girl, putting their differences aside to pass that baton so that for those 40 seconds or less, we can really achieve greatness. Also, the generational gap. She's going to be possibly doing the 4x4. Her NCAA championship was in the 400, where she'll be running possibly with Allyson, Felix. And perhaps we can just pass the baton and really put an end to some of the generational trauma that's been happening between young Black women and older Black women for those 4 minutes that it takes to run that race to achieve an objective. My hope is that for us, Gabby can symbolize Black women getting on code for a bigger goal in mind. I'm looking so forward to the 2021 Olympic Games, and I want to encourage you ladies to really start triangulating the sports bars, the watch parties, and the work events that are going to revolve around this most watched sport in the world. Ladies, please use this opportunity to network, to mingle, to participate in some of the water cooler gossip that's happening in the office and around their classrooms. So ladies, please make it a point to just put yourselves out there. This is going to be a fun summer for everyone. And we can't let the sociopathy of Blackistan hold us back from experiencing new and exciting things. This is Mocha Mami, and I'll see you in the next video.